ॐ वाङ् मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदसमआणीस्थः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासि अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्भक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु भक्तारमवतु भक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। ॐ। May my speech be accorded with the mind. May my mind be accorded with the speech. O self-effulgent one Brahman, reveal thyself to me. May you both, speech and mind, be the carriers of the highest truth to me. May you not all that I have heard depart from me. May I be able to join day and night through this study. I shall utter what is verbally true. I shall utter what is mentally true. May that Brahman protect me. May that Brahman protect the teacher. May that protect me. May that protect the teacher. Om. Peace, peace. Peace be unto you all. Good morning. This morning I am going to speak to you one of the very important aspects of spiritual life. This subject is obviously new to you, but we can find the application of these principles in day-to-day life. Obviously, the modern science have given some kind of explanations of these principles. But in ancient India, the rishis, the seers of the truth, they found some kind of principles which we find in Upanishads and different ancient Indian scriptures. We cannot ignore these principles, because if we analyze logically or rationally, we can find easily the validity, the logical truth of these principles. Let me ask with one question. In Indian scriptures, in the scriptures of world religions, in every religion of the world, they are at one point agree. And that point is, if you seek, if you pray, you can see God, you can find God. In Bible, we know, knock, the door will be open unto you. Seek. In Upanishads, we find that if you Supreme Self is to be sought, even the Benedict, who was the founder of monasticism in the West, he also mentioned that life, monastic life, is seeking God. But the question is, if we seek God, God can be seen. Sri Ramakrishna said, if you seek, I swear, God can be seen. Yes, God can be seen if we ask earnestly. But the point is, where to seek? Is there any place? Shall we seek God in the air? Where can we seek? And where God exists? That is the question. This is the beauty of Upanishads. That Upanishads ask with question, and very simple, pertinent question. It is very simple. God can do anything and everything. God can bless us. But where to search God? Where God exists? That's the basic fundamental question. And Upanishad starts with this question: where to seek? So if God exists, if I can seek God, and if God can be seen, logically, definitely there is a place where God exists. Maybe it is superficial, maybe it is a concept, maybe it is not with form like a mass of block. But anything, if something exists, where it will exist? There must be a place. Without place, can anything exist? Take the example of air. We cannot see the air, but we know air exists. Where air exists? Air exists in the vast space. So some space is required for existing something. Where God exists? In the school textbook, we know the matter is defined as that which has a mass and occupies space. That is called a matter. It must has some masses and it can occupy a space. So that only we call the mass. This is the definition of mass in school books. So any physical objects occupy, according to Indian philosophy, they called the sthula Akasha. Akasha means, in simple colloquial language, Indian colloquial language, Akasha means the sky. But it is not true. Akasha means the space. The Sanskrit word of Akasha is called space. So the external space is called the gross space. In Sanskrit, it is called sthula. Sthula means gross. Gross space. Why it is gross? It is gross because we can see it, we can touch it, we can experience it. That is called the sthula Akasha. According to Indian philosophy, there are three spaces. So definitely, in one of these spaces, God exists according to them. And they explain how it exists. How can we connect God? Everything has been explained in the Upanishad very clearly, logically, systematically. So the external space, you are sitting here. You cannot sit anywhere and everywhere. There must be some space. And this is the space where you are sitting. So this space is called Sthula Akasha. Along with time, space has become the concept of fundamental importance in modern physics also. Take the example of Einstein's principle, mc square. What does it mean? M is the masses and c is the intrinsic property of space-time. So this shows that physical space is not merely vacuity, but something dynamic. If we call space vacuum. Yes, definitely there are some empty space, but it is not completely empty. According to Vedanta, space is known as Akasha, which is one of the five elements. We know everything, according to Vedanta, everything is coming out of five elements. In science, there are probably, the students can tell us the exact number, but I think 190 or 20. Dr. Godwal, how many elements are there right now? 120, 13 or something. And by the by, I can tell you that Berkeley is very famous because in Lawrence Berkeley lab, one element was discovered. In which year, Godwalji? Can you please?
I think it was something around 2006 or so.
2006. If you can Google, you can find it. In 2006, an element was discovered in Lawrence Berkeley lab.
That is California.
That is California. What is Berkeley? Berkeley?
It was invented here.
Yes, in which year?
Around 2006.
Okay. So one element was discovered, the name of that element is Berkeley. So Berkeley is so famous, see. Not San Francisco, Berkeley. However, the point is that it is the external things, one of the 5 elements, according to Indian philosophy, everything came out. The universe, the cosmos, individual human being came out from 5 gross elements. So they see, science also are trying to find only one thing, the God particle. Is God particle is the thing from which everything came out? That's the question. Exactly, the ancient philosophers of India, they tried to find only one thing. Is there anything from which everything came out? And if we find that, and if we can understand that, we can explain everything. However, according to Indian philosophy, these are the 5 elements. So Akasha, the space, is also one of the elements. The basic elements. Without space, nothing can be done. It is the subtler element, whereas this earth is the gross element. Water is another element. These are the basic elements without which nothing can exist. So these are the 5 elements, gross elements, and Akasha, space, is one of the grosser element. That is according to Indian philosophy. Even it is said these are the primordial element. And in Taittiriya Upanishad, we can find all this explanation. Now, thought. Let us come to individual. As we are concerned about the spirituality, let us come back to individual. Because there is no spirituality on the sky. Individual. Individual will become spiritual. Thought. Let us start with thought. Do you think for thought some space is required? Without space, how can thought exist? The generation of thought, existence of thought, there must be some space. Thought is also an object and needs some space to exist. The space occupy in the mind, that is also space. And the ancient rishis, they call it subtle space. The external space is the gross space. The mind is called the subtle space. In Sanskrit, it is called Shukshma Akasha or Chitta Akasha. The Sanskrit word of mind is called Chitta. The Chitta Akasha or the subtle Akasha, subtle space. Ideas, images constantly arise in this space, remain there for a short time and then disappear. Like this physical space, the mental space too is not mere emptiness, but something dynamic. According to this, Swami Vivekananda said, everything that we see or imagine or dream, we have to perceive in space. This is the ordinary space called Maha Akasha or elemental space. When a yogi reads the thoughts of other men or perceives supersensuous objects, he sees them in another sort of space which is called Chitto Akasha or the Shukshma Akasha or the subtle space, the mental space. When perception has become objectless and the soul shines in its own nature, it is called Chidakasha or the knowledge of space. Even the knowledge. Obviously, we can assume that our mind thought everything definitely, then it's some space. But when mind is thoughtless, as for example, in the deep sleep, what happens in the deep sleep? Our mind dissolves, our senses dissolve, everything dissolves. Do you think our existence is there at that time in our deep sleep? Definitely our existence is there. Our awareness is there because we can easily say that I had a very good sleep. Who is experiencing that? Definitely our awareness is there. Who is experiencing that good sleep? Somebody, someone. So for him or her or it or they definitely has some kind of space. So that kind of space is the third space, which is called Chidakasha. So there are three spaces according to Indian philosophy. The gross space, the world, external world. The subtle space in our mind. And the causal space when our mind also not there, that kind of state. It is called Chidakasha. In Sanskrit, Sthula Akasha, Shukshma Akasha and Chidakasha. These are the three kinds of Akashas. A spiritual aspirant must have a clear understanding of these three kinds of space. The knowledge of the gross or external space enables him or her to see the action of men and women, the whole drama of life. In the astronomical vastness of the universe, how insignificant human achievement and follies appear. So these are, one aspirant must understand that the vibration in the external space, how these people are doing, how these people are acting. It is important. Knowledge of the mental space is also necessary to understand the way thought influences us. We can access up to this, the subtle space and the gross space. Gross space we can manage because we are aware of the external world. But mental space is little bit, and spirituality starts from there. So let us discuss about this subtle space, thought, its action, and how it works. What we call mind is only a part of the vast cosmic mind. Indian philosophy, see, in Christianity also, what is our connection between the cosmos and us? There must be some connection. Otherwise, like an alien, we cannot live. We take oxygen from the nature. We emit carbon dioxide, and that the plants are taking. So everything in the nature, in the cosmos, there is some network, some connection. We cannot ignore that. So, according to Indian philosophy, individual is the miniature form, the exactly same thing in the cosmos as a vast infinite form. This is the one fundamental important principle. So, this universal, we have a mind. Definitely there is an universal mind. You are sitting here. What is the example of that? How can we believe that? Everything has a logic in Upanishad. How can we believe that? There is a cosmic mind. You are sitting here. Suddenly, you are listening to me. Suddenly, some thought is arising in your mind. How it is coming? Which is not connected with this kind of thought, which is completely different. How is it coming? The ancient lawgivers or the seers of India, they say there are two reasons. One, it is coming from your unconscious or subconscious because it was there. And the second thing is that the cosmic mind recognizes this thought. That's why this thought becomes active in my surface mind. These are the two reasons. Let me explain this mechanism. This is what I am going to explain you this morning. What is the mechanism? What is the psychological mechanism? What is the use of it? What is the importance of this thing, this subject matter? Why it is important? It is important because our thought is the guiding force, very powerful. We are puppet in the hand of our thoughts. What we think, that we do, good or bad. So somehow or other, if we can manage our thought, if we can control our thought, then what we wish, that will be done. Tomorrow is our very serious meeting. I have a very important lecture tomorrow. Tomorrow some guests are coming to our house. I have to cook a lot of things. But today is the Super Bowl. What to do? So these kind of challenges, when we face, our thought is the only trump card. How can we manage our thought? That is the important point. And that is the subject matter today. If we can become the master of our thought, not the slave. Let us see what Swami Vivekananda is telling on this aspect. He says, it is quite possible, therefore, that this atmosphere of ours, in full of such thought pulsations, both good and evil, every thought projected from every brain goes on pulsating as it were, until it meets a fit object that will receive it. I says there are two conditions. One, individual. Our thought is coming from our samaskaras. Our thought is coming from our unconscious, according to the Freud. Freud is the father of that psychology. So the unconscious, it is coming up, but it must be recognized by the cosmic mind. Otherwise, it will not be activated. Thousands of thoughts are coming every day in our mind. How many you are going to actualize? One or two maximum? How many thoughts you can recognize? We cannot recognize. Thousands of thoughts in our unconscious. We cannot recognize them. You cannot deny that everything has a cause. What is going on? There must be a cause. Without cause, nothing can be done. Nothing is happening. So the cause of our thought is this, according to Indian philosophy. And he says, so brain goes on pulsating as it were until it meets a fit object that will receive it. Who is receiving? Any mind which is open to receive some of these impulses will take them immediately. So, when a man is doing evil action, he has brought his mind to a certain state of tension, and all the waves which correspond to that state of tension and which may be said to be already in the atmosphere will struggle to enter into his mind. That is why an evildoer generally goes on doing more and more evil. Such will be the case with the doer of good. He will open himself to all the good waves that are in the atmosphere, and his good action will also become intensified. So in the cosmic mind, there is everything. Take the example, we know, most of us we know, that how the scientists discovered the benzene structure. Before that, there was no chemical structure which is circular, bonded. Everything was open chain, all chemical structures. The benzene ring was the first chemical structure which is circular, and it came out of flash in the mind. From where that thought came? It's a very interesting and little bit intricate also subject. According to Indian philosophy, everything is in your mind. What is the explanation? I am a monk. I am not a scientist. How can an intricate formula, I will know. But Vedanta says everything is in your mind. The explanation is this, justification is this. If I tell you everything is in your laptop, do you accept that? Yes, everything is in your laptop. Why? It is because if you connect the satellite, you can find everything. If you connect your laptop with the cloud, you can get everything. So there must be something as a cloud in the cosmos. We can connect ourselves. But there must be something basis in your computer. And you are connecting. You are feeding in your computer to search something. In the Google, in the AI, ChatGPT, Gemini, wherever. You are feeding there. And immediately it is connecting everything and anything. So something is the cosmic mind, and something is within us. So what is within us is coming out in the surface mind. That is the function of our samaskaras. And then, if we connect that with the cosmic mind, we can understand everything. The scientists are discovering, not the total, they have discovered. They are discovering the AI, the full domain of AI. But ancient seers of India, they explained it. That there must be something in the cloud. There must be something in the cosmic mind. And if the individual mind can connect it, everything we can know. So everything is in your mind, with the condition that you have to connect the cosmic mind. Everything in this vibration is there. If we can tune our vibration, mental vibration with the cosmic vibration, we can tune it. And that is happening. That is happening. Suddenly something is coming to our mind. We cannot ignore that. How is it coming? How does this Chitta Akasha open to the cosmic Akasha, which is called Mahata in Sanskrit. Cosmic space. How is it? Open your individual mind there. Two factors are involved in this process. One is the action of samaskaras, the residues of the past experience. That is one, our samaskara, unconscious. That is a different, huge subject matter. How this unconscious is working. That's a completely different subject. I am not going to deep into this subject. But a samaskar is not only just past impressions. Our mind is actually, I say, a sophisticated gadget. In sophisticated gadget, if you delete something, it cannot be deleted. They will give you a delete list and you can browse it anytime. The computer will tell you immediate action and you can find it there, even though the file is deleted. So, these are not the past. Our mind is just like everything, what we are listening, what we are thinking, what we are experiencing, what we are reading, what we are testing, everything leaves some impression in our unconscious. And the sum total of our impressions is called samaskaras. So in our unconscious, some samaskaras are there. And that is coming out in our mind. We cannot forget anything. Just now you will remember some kind of incident that you had experienced when you were little boy or girl. Suddenly, out of the blue. So, this is the not only residual of the past impressions, it is rather a small kind of magnetic field. What magnetic field does? If something comes to the magnetic field, it immediately captures that and vibrates. If a small iron ore comes to a magnetic field, immediately it vibrates. And when it will go closer to the magnet, it will attract. So exactly, our thought is like that. Our thought are nothing but the vibration of prana. Prana is the energy. See, without energy, nothing can be happened. So our body action and every action, energy is required. Even thought. If you do not eat, if you fast for, I think, one day, if you fast for 5 days, you can find you cannot think. Your brain slowly will become numb. So energy is required for thought also. The thought is nothing but the vibration in energy. So that is what it is said. Just as countless radio waves from all directions are constantly striking us, when a particular samaskar rises in the mind, we call it desire, it disturbs the prana, the chitta akasha, and the whole mind starts vibrating in a certain frequency. Then the mind becomes receive to any external prana wave thought that corresponds to the internal frequency. This phenomenon is quite similar to the scientific phenomenon in the sound, which we call resonance. This is the first process of receiving this. The second process is the activity of chakras. It is little complicated, and it is bigger also. However, this is connected with the chakras. You know, according to Indian philosophy, if you see some yogic, now everybody is know that yogic things, the yoga. And everybody is familiar to that particular picture of yoga. One shadowed like kind of body is sitting, and the spinal cord is there, and there are different pictures of lotus. So one lotus is a kind of connecting nervous system. It is actual. Actual means there is no lotus in our spinal cord, but we have some nerve point. The example is the acupuncture. What they do? They just exercise by pinning them, by penetrating the nerve centers. So these chakras in the spinal cord is nothing but some connection, some point, nerve point. And basically, the bottom, the below, there are 3 points. And one is responsible for activities of our mind and body. The bottom is called Muladhara. That is, in biological term, probably it is called the cortex. The second one is Swadhisthana. And the third one is called Manipura, in our navel position. These are the Sanskrit term. These are the 3 nervous points that is actually acting, influencing our mind and our body. These nerves are actually doing this. Control the vital function of the body and the lower mind. As a radio can be tuned to any broadcasting station by operating a knob connected to the harmonic valves inside, so the lower chakras can be operated to receive good and bad thoughts wave. So that is the knob. We can control it if we can. So yogis, what yogis are doing? They are getting control of those chakras. And what are the chakras? There are 3 central nerves. What are the central nerves? It is complete biology, physiology. There are 3 central nerves. One is in the center and 2 others. It is the formation of that kind of 8, the number 8. And the crossing is going on. If you put your hand in the backside of your neck, you can find there is a bone which is like a bump kind of thing. Here you can find it. That is number 8 in the spinal cord. And exactly that point, the 2 nervous system is crossing. 8, there is cross, the left side is crossing and the right side is crossing. That is why if a person is paralyzed, if a person's right side is paralyzed, you can know it for sure his or her left brain is problematic. If left side is paralyzed, you know it for sure that right brain is problematic, damaged. Because the nervous system crossed. And what are the yogis doing in pranayama? The people, those you are going to yoga centers, yoga studio, I am sure you know, you are familiar with the name of pranayama. What is this people are doing in pranayama? What is the secret of pranayama? The secret of pranayama is our whole energy level is flowing irregularly for normal people. Irregularly through these two side channels, through two nerves, irregularly energy. So the yogis, what they are doing, they are controlling their breathing, and while controlling those breathing, they are trying to activate the central one. They are bringing down all the energy. Energy means air flowing. Air is the energy. Why air is the energy? Because oxygen. If our oxygen is burnt, if we run, what happens? We take breathing frequently. The supply of oxygen, we require the supply of more and more oxygen. Because oxygen is burning. It gives the fuel in our body. That is why when a person is tired, his or her body is becoming cold. No oxygen. That's why no burning. The fuel is not there. Energy is not there. So that's why this energy. So they are channelizing this energy into the central nerve, and then they can get the control. The bottom is going from the last cortex, last nervous point, 8, the last one, is going there. So that is the controlling of that. And in that way, they are getting the control of the nervous point. And if we can get the control of the nervous point, then we can control it, and we can control receiving of the signals. One part is controlling our samaskaras. In Patanjali Yoga Sutra, you can find how can we control our samaskaras. That is one subject matter. The second subject matter is how can we control this vibration, receiving the vibration. Because these two factors are there. So if we cannot control the knob to the bad thought which is in the cosmos, our bad thought which is coming up in our mind can be controlled. So that is what yogis are doing. So that is why it is said that these chakras, this nervous point is called chakra. Chakra means wheel. They are controlling, so they are called wheel. So these chakras can be operated to receive good and bad thought waves. As a matter of fact, this is what everyone is constantly doing. Unconsciously we are doing. Since both the action of the samaskaras and the action of the chakras go on in the unconscious, most people are seldom aware of all these processes. It is good to remember that behind every good and bad thought, there is a mental mechanism operated by us, Good and bad thoughts disturb us only because we allow them consciously or unconsciously. So this is the function of our energy in the thought process. Because if you do not charge your computer in the plug, you cannot browse from the cloud. So this is the process. Then I shall bypass. There is a beautiful Chinese Zen story is there. Would you like to listen to this? Okay. On this particular aspect, Hui Chang, who was Zen master to the emperor of Su Song of the Tang dynasty, was highly respected by the emperor as well as by the Zen Buddhists of China. One day, a famous Indian monk named Great Ear Tripitaka, in Sanskrit it is called Lambokorno, arrived at the capital. This monk was said to be able to read other people's mind without the slightest difficulty or hesitation. Word of his accomplishment having reached to emperor, the Indian monks was summoned to the royal palace to demonstrate his power before the Zen master. The following dialogue took place. Hui Chung, tell me, where does my mind now go? Tripitaka, your reverence is the Zen master of a nation. How can we go to West Su Chung to watch the boat race? Because this Indian monk, he could understand, he could read the mind. So the Zen master asked, can you tell me where is my mind now? The Indian monk is replying that how can your mind is going, have gone there to watch the boat race? How can you go to the bridge of Tengqing to watch the monkeys are playing? So he could understand. After a moment's silence, Hui Chung asked him, now, where does my mind go? This time Tripitaka concentrated with intense effort for a long time, but could not detect any thought of Zen master. Whereupon Hui Chung rotated. Then he said, you ghost of a wild fox, where is your telepathic power now? So what happened actually? What the Zen master did was to close the door of his Chitta Akasha, the subtle mind. He closed his door here. During the early stages of spiritual life, it is not possible to shut out all thoughts and attain stillness of your mind. During this period, what the aspirant has to do is to learn, open himself more and more to the spiritual thought current. So the yogis, the elevated spiritual person, they can shut their mind the Akasha, the space, they can shut their mind. We do unconsciously. We do shut our mind, but we cannot recognize them. I can give you example. You have come here driving. How many faces you have seen on your way? You saw clearly. How many faces you can recognize? Not a single. But you saw them. So, you shut your mind at that time. That is what Swami Vivekananda said, when he was traveling in this Bay Area in 1900. He was standing on the market street of San Francisco. And he said that if a person can meditate while standing here on the market street, I shall call him a yogi. That is the speciality of a yogi. In the midst of huge crowd, marketplace, they can be calm and quiet. That is what Bhagavad Gita says. It says yogis, they do not sleep at night. They sleep in the morning. In one sense, very simple sense, it is correct. The yogis, they meditate at night, but it has an inner significance. In the daytime, there is a crowd. There is, everywhere there is some shouting, there is some, people are rushing. So yogis are sleeping at that kind of atmosphere. But when people are sleeping, their activity starts. So they can do that by controlling these chakras. This is the thing. That is what Jain spiritual person did. So what we shall do to reach to that end? 3 things. Number 1, these are the remedy. The first step to do that. Number 1, the company of holy spiritual person. You can receive the vibration emanating from the holy men, purify and elevate your mind without any effort on anybody's part. That is the first solution. Second solution, if some places are there, we can see nothing is foreign to us. Nothing is unfamiliar to us. You have experienced it. Only we have to be aware of that. Some places are there where you find, oh no, this place is not for me. Immediately you can feel something. Some places, oh no, the environment is good. Although you thought that no, this place, okay, with half-hearted situation you went there and you found that okay, this place is very pleasant. No, I like it. In restaurant also, you must have this kind of experience. So, unconsciously we have that power. That vibration is coming. We can receive vibration and we can emit vibration also. The radioactivity, whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not, we radiate. In every body, every mass, there is the radioactivity. So this is the first point. Association, company of holy people. That is the simplest thing. Second is karma yoga. There are, I shall conclude within 5 minutes. There karma yoga. There are 3 things in karma yoga. 3 importance in karma yoga. In Bhagavad Gita, we find 4 things are the basic pillars of karma yoga. Yajna, dana. Yajna is the worship, is offering something, is giving something, is called yajna. In ancient time, there was the fire sacrifice, the yajna. So people offer, the oblation was offered in the fire. So that is kind of yajna. That is called in Sanskrit yajna, the worship. And worship is giving. In worship, ritualistic worship, you saw that people are offering something. So worship means offering. What shall we offer? Plenty of foods? No. The best offering is the offering of our ego. Offering means, yajna means offer your ego. Karma yoga, the first thing is offer your ego. Without offering ego, you cannot do karma yoga. If you do karma yoga, if you serve people without offering your ego, without leaving your ego, it will only increase your ego and create some problem. Second, charity, dana. What is happening there in dana? The root cause of all evil is attachment, which means the enslavement of the will to senses. Charity, loosen the will. This is another technical term, I would say the attachment. Now for the taking, because of time, I cannot explain this, how will is hooking. Those who have been attending my class, they know how we will hook the will, how we can focus our work with the will. Will has a tremendous function in our spiritual life. So that is a different subject, I cannot go, but attachment. Charity will loosen our attachment. What happens, I am serving here, okay? Now I am the residential monk here in the Berkeley Vedanta Society. And I am serving here, I am the only monk here. So I am serving here, I am doing a lot of things, very good. But, in our order, and every monastic order actually in this world, they can be removed, they can be posted in different centers. So our job is a kind of transferable job. So if I am posted in different center, and if I am attached with this center, what will happen? Now I am doing very good job, I am serving this center very good. But if I am attached with this center, then I shall go there, but always I shall poke my nose here. I shall call some of the devotees, what is going there? Oh, it is not good. So always I shall try to interfere the activity of this center if we are attached. So karma yoga, the next point is that non-attachment. If we serve people, and if I am attached with the work, I shall try to control the people to whom we are serving. That is not good. We serve and we must give the freedom to others. So this is the second, charity. So charity is loosen the attachment. The third one is austerity, tapas. Some austerity is required. So what austerity does? The 3 main forms of austerity is control of basic urges, the control of food and the control of speech, which is very important. Don't always do something and everything, whatever is coming to your mind, you are telling and this, that. Please don't do that. The controlling of speech is one of the very important spiritual aspect. Control of speech, control of food. Sometimes you are eager to take that, you are very much, excited to get something. Try to play with your mind. Okay, I am tempted to get that food. Okay, let me challenge my mind. I shall not take this today. That's very important. This kind of play is very important for spiritual life with our mind. So this is the austerity, tapas. And the last thing is sadhvaya, study. Next to meditation, I would suggest study. Study can also meditate. If you cannot meditate, if you can sit and meditate, study. Study is the next thing. Never leave study. Study is the next thing. Go ahead. So these are the 4 pillars of Karma Yoga. Sadhvaya, what Sadhvaya will do. So Sadhvaya, it will remove ignorance from your mind and implants the higher ideas. So basic things are 3 in Karma Yoga. Produces good samaskaras, which check the rise of bad samaskaras. It detaches the will, so you become non-attached or detached, and it controls the action of lower center. It removes the ignorance, the tapas, austerity. It controls the lower center, lower chakra, so nervous point, by which you can control this connection. And the third discipline is the prayer. So 3 disciplines: association, company of holy men, Karma Yoga, and Karma Yoga has these 4 things. And then last, prayer. Prayer has a tremendous impact. We do not give concentrated on that. Actually, this prayer, what it will do? Prayer turns our mind away from the external influences. When you pray, nothing will come to your mind. I can give you one example. A lot of examples are there. Those who are initiated and they are meditating and repeating the name of God, you can find sometime that you are meditating, but the repeating of name has stopped. It is a very common feature of those who have got the initiation. It is a very common factor. So what happens there? You are reading, another gross example, forget about initiation. You are reading a book. You are seriously reading a book. But after going through the page, you find that not a single word has been registered. You have to go again from the beginning. Why it is happening? Because at that time your mind is working unconsciously, but you are reading. Externally you are reading, but internally your mind is in different place. So that's why prayer, bring your mind at the present. Meditation means the power of now, or the mindfulness. The mindfulness is nothing but bring your mind at the present. The most of the time what we do, if we study your mind, you will find that either your mind is in the past procrastinating, or your mind is planning for the future. So meditation means bring your mind at the present. And prayer is doing that. Prayer can do that. Second, prayer activates the heart center. That Anahata chakra, nervous center in the heart, that is called Ana in Sanskrit, called Anahata chakra. So it activates that prayer. Brings our consciousness from the lower center to the higher center. It is a kind of hierarchy pyramid. We saw that food pyramid, hierarchy pyramid of food, hierarchy pyramid of Abraham Maslow, the hierarchy need. So just like that, this is the hierarchy things. And those who have been attending, I have described it number of times, that how our character, our behavior changes according to the raising of our consciousness to the higher and higher nervous point. Anyway, so this is the thing, it elevates us. And third, prayer opens the mind not only to the divine, but also to the spiritual thought current of the saints. Means those books you are reading. Why you cannot register? Because your mind is not open to that. We have to open. Grace. We have lot of adverse conception about grace. We do not believe in grace. People do not believe. Those who believe in grace, they also have not this strong faith. Okay, with all these I can pray also. It may happen, it may not happen. How can you receive the grace unless you open your heart? Sri Ramakrishna's great example. The wind is blowing, but only if you can unfurl your sail, the boat will not proceed. You have to unfurl your sail in your boat. Then only you can proceed. So unfurl your sail means open your heart. Open your heart means you have to accept this idea or principles or some divine things or something wholeheartedly. If you do not accept it, assimilate it. Again, Sri Ramakrishna's example. You saw milk. That is one kind of knowledge. You heard about milk. That is another kind of experience. And you drank milk and assimilated that in your body. That is another kind of experience. So not only drink, you have to assimilate that. So this is the open your heart. This means open your heart. You have to, in one sentence, open your heart to all the principles. Otherwise, you cannot receive this vibration. So, this is the thing. Sum up. First, our thought. We have to control our thought. And to control our thought, some spaces are required. 3 spaces are there. And what are these spaces? Unless we control our thought, we cannot do anything. So, space. This is the introduction. Then we search God, in which space God is there. So, we have the connection with the cosmic thing. We can control in 2 ways. Either we can control ourselves, the samaskaras, And we can control the connection between these two things by controlling our center of nervous system. The prana, because energy is there. We can control that. And how can we control that? In three ways. The first, preliminary, beginners. Three ways. Number one, company of the great holy people. Second, karma yoga. And third, prayer. And holy people does not mean you have to come to Vedanta Society or you have to go in different temples. Holy peoples are also among your friends. You can find them. We know which one is good, which one is bad. The books are the holy company. And now there are innumerable YouTubes. Go listen to those YouTubes. Those are the holy company. Go ahead. Practice. The last word is the practice. Everywhere in all corporate sectors there is something which is called, you do everything, but the last one is the quality control. In management, the last thing is the quality control. So the quality control is here. You have to practice. All these are theories. Unless you practice, nothing is going to happen. This is not any kind of information. Now the world is moving around with information. The more information you have, the more thing. Google is the powerful entity in this universe. Why? Because Google is having infinite amount of information. Everywhere. Now AI, the bad side, the other side of the AI is that everywhere we find AI and they are sucking information. But this is spirituality, is not information. It is the practice. I found that in my talk, I refer some name, probably, as for example, the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. The devotees immediately after my lecture, Maharaj, can you tell me in bullet form what is the Patanjali Yoga Sutra? Arey, my God, people are studying Patanjali Yoga Sutra throughout their life. It is a lifelong study. And can you please give me some information in bullet form, 1 to 3? So easy. Spirituality is not the information. It is the practice. This is the quality control. Thank you. I am not receiving any question today because it is already, I took half an hour extra. Sorry for that. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkham Apnumat Sarvastarotu Durgani Sarvo Bhadrani Pashyatu Sarva Sadbuddhim Apnotu Sarva Sarvatra Nandatu Durjana Sajjano Bhuyat Sajjana Shantim Apnuat Shantamucchete Bandhebhyo Muktasyanyan Vimochayet. May all be happy. May all enjoy good health. May all see happy events. May all be freed from miseries. May all be freed from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bondages. May the freed make others free. May the Supreme Spirit, the presiding deity of all sacred activities, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe feels satisfied. Om, peace, peace. Peace be unto you all.